Hello, everybody. This is Robert Hollis. I hope you're having a wonderful and blessed day. And the video for today is the perfect day. The video for the day is the perfect day. So we'll wait for some people to get on here. Again, for those of you that are seeing this for the first time, you can go to roberthollis.com/free. My son Matthew has put up some incredible videos. And also, you can get a free copy of my book, How Is That Working? So it was a Amazon bestseller, and there's my wife, and so really excited. I'm actually going to find a way to actually put a video in here as well. Hopefully, I'll be able to. Maybe Craig can find it. Hi, Craig. Hi, Melody. I'll just make sure that I post it in here. One of the times that I got to speak for Eric Worre at GoPro. I was blessed to be the anchor speaker. And what was really cool is I talked about this concept, and it's the perfect day. And so one of the things that I talked about in some of my other videos is this whole concept that if you don't have something to look forward to, you won't move forward. You just will not. And then I've also talked about examples of how excited we get just planning a couple of week vacation or any vacation. And what we're good at is we're good at imagination and visualization of exactly figuring out what we would do on that vacation. What excursions would we do? Where would we go to eat? Where would we stay? It's amazing how great we are at planning our future when it's something like a vacation. But most people will plan more for a 2-week vacation than they will their entire life. Yesterday, there was a gentleman named Melford. We did a podcast, and what was really crazy, I can't wait for him to share it with me so I can share it with you guys. So I was on this podcast, and the whole concept of it came up again. It's like, okay, so here's a little chore for you guys, or an assignment, whatever you want to call it, but would you please take the time to write down or do on video or whatever, but I would love you to really write down a perfect day. How would that perfect day go? And, in the 6-phase meditation, we always got this whole scenario where you want to use every sense that you had, your smell, your touch, your hearing, your eyes, taste, everything. So if you were to put together a perfect day, and everyone's day is going to be different, but what would that perfect day be like? When you woke up in the morning, it's always cool, the sort of cliche that we have for working hard in this business is imagine waking up without an alarm clock. Now, my wife and I, because we've been doing this so long, we put in the effort, we put in the sacrifice, we get to get up when we want to get up. So whenever we want to get up, there's not like an alarm clock, there's not like a certain time that we need to get up. If there's anything that's stressing in our lives, it's we want to make sure we get up and let Dex and Leo, our golden retrievers, out. So, that is like the major priority. And so let me see, there's quite a few people that have come in here quick. So let me, Lisa, Craig, of course, Nicholas, Mary, Kai, Deb, hi Deb, hi Melody, Danielle, Dustin, Eric, got your FX, that's so cool. Isabella, Zoltan from Budapest, Hungary, Ola, Tina, Eric, let me see here, Melody, Nicholas, okay, great. So the one thing I want to share with each and every one of you is most people don't know what their perfect day would be. And so you really got to take the time to imagine and really imagine that whole concept of, okay, I'm going to get up when I'm done sleeping. What do you hear? What do you hear? Crashing waves? You know what I mean? What do you smell? It's like, there's this perfect place for humidity for people, So, we know too much humidity, too little humidity, so, what is that perfect humidity? You're hearing the waves, you're hearing, birds, you know what I mean? You're smelling the flowers, you're smelling the salt water, you know what I mean? And a lot of case with, seawater, you can actually taste it in the air. So, yeah, Peter, it's on its way. Hi, is that Finesse? Finesse, Finesse. I like that. Janice, Jasnith. uh, thank you so much. So, the whole key is to know the perfect day, exactly, how you wake up, what you hear, smell, and hear, and then all of a sudden what you're doing during that day. I'll never forget when I heard someone they actually call designing your life. And he was saying, wouldn't it be neat, get up, give my wife, usually the dogs attack me before I get to my wife. So, I come down the stairs and, got to go, the dogs are going crazy. So I got to give them their pets. And then, I give Terry a kiss and a hug and ask her how her sleep was. And then, get a cup of coffee and then you're sort of relaxing. And so what would it be like to not have anything stressing you? You have no appointments. You don't really figure out your day until you're ready to figure out your day. And it's like nothing kept you awake at night because you're like, oh my God, I got all this list of stuff that I got to do tomorrow. So when you decide to do what you want to do is when you decide to do it. And it's like there's some people out there that, they have their whole schedule full. You know what I mean? Who do you have around you? What are you doing during the day? And it's like, I love making an impact. I love connecting with strangers. I love making new friends and helping people, get the mindset and the imagination to put together their perfect day. And really all we're doing is, again, writing down what a perfect day would be, when you plan to eat, what you're eating, from there, if you're enjoying your family. It was fun to have family over for Easter and, we all played pool. That was really, really fun. Or maybe it was the other day. It doesn't matter. They come over whenever. And you're playing pool, you're playing darts, you're doing whatever, hanging out by the pool. It's like whatever you really want to do. And so the whole goal is once you have that perfect day, and of course, I ask each and every one of you to create a number of different perfect days. Sometimes there's just a day to just relax and meditate, actually reflect on a lot of stuff. And then there's other days where you might be really, really busy. Let's say that if you decided to go on and do a couple excursions, whatever you're planning on doing. And so it's really, really neat to think about a number of perfect days. Maybe one would be traveling to another country. But if you're not putting together these perfect days, they seem to never come. Did you guys catch that? If you never really think about the perfect day, then they really don't come. So hi, Miguel. Hi, Chris. Hi, Ryan. Nice to see you here. Hi, Kai, Alicia, Melody, Darlene. And it's like, so the whole goal in that presentation is I was told not only to figure out a perfect day, but absolutely correct, Jenny. What would be a perfect day in work? How many people did you connect with? How many people decided to, create a free account? How many people, actually, it was so funny. I reached out to a person that is a huge, huge network marketer. I mean, this guy I think might have earned more than I have in network marketing, and he's been with the same company forever. I think he's been with the same company over 30 years. And I sent him a short video on the FFX, and then I sent him the link so he could purchase it. And I just seen he popped up. I was telling Josh, I got a notification on my iWatch, that, hey, I got a new customer. And I just think, wow, to have a push notification. I know there's going to be so many things the new system does. But then once you write down those perfect days, then how many perfect days can you string together in a row? And that's really how simple life is. But if you don't take the time to actually visualize and write down, if there's this thing that is magical when you write it down. I don't like to write. You know what I mean? People like, you gotta, I can write it in a notepad, or I can, put it on computer. You know what I mean? It's like, you got to take the time to write things down, because writing them down really has some significance to it. And then you got to put it someplace where you can constantly, see it. You know what I mean? So now what you're doing is you're constantly in your mind, you're sitting there going, hey, so now I got a way to be able to make this perfect day happen. And so that's all I wanted to talk about today. I wanted it to be short and sweet, straight to the point. I love and appreciate each and every one of you. If you guys go see what Matt's doing to roberthollis.com/free. You guys will love it. Matt, thank you so much for all the great things that you've done. If no one's giving you permission to succeed in life, let me be the first. I love and appreciate you, and we'll definitely see you tomorrow. Take care, and bye for now.